So I'm just making baked oats for breakfast. Today I'm actually going to make melt in the middle baked oats, and I'm just going to use a teaspoon of this Jim Jam's chocolate orange spread. So to make the baked oats, I'm just going to whisk this all together. I've got 40 grams of oats, 2 to 3 tablespoons of yogurt, half a teaspoon of baking powder, a tablespoon of sweetener and 1 egg, and I'm just going to whisk all that together, and then I will pour the mixture in here and bake in the oven. So I've got half of my baked oat mixture in here, a teaspoon of the Jim Jam spread. I also just mixed in some frozen raspberries and blueberries with my baked oats. I use such a small amount that I don't bother SYNing it, even though it's cooked fruit, because it's the exact same amount I would eat if it was raw. So then I'm literally just going to pour the rest of the oats over the top. And then literally just pop that in the oven for 20 minutes at 180. So my baked oats are done. I've just added some satsuma, some frozen blueberries, and a 1 orange and cranberry Jaffa cake on top. That's 2.5 SYNs. So in total with the teaspoon of spread, this is 3.5 SYNs and my healthy extra B. So it's a little bit hard to see, but this is what the inside of the this is what the inside of the melt in the middle looks like. So for today's breakfast, I'm having Shakshuka. This is a really easy recipe, and it's really versatile because you can kind of add whatever ingredients you like. I tend to sort of save this for the weekend because it's a little bit bigger, it's a bit more filling, and it takes a little bit longer to cook. So it's just a little bit more time consuming, so it's more of like a weekend treat. I add bacon to mine. You don't have to. I just do it for a little bit of extra flavour. And then you've got cannellini beans, chopped tomatoes, an onion. I use half a red pepper, some mixed herbs. So I've got oregano, parsley, some chili flakes, some paprika. So I add it all to the pan. Obviously I'll fry off the veg first. And then when it's nearly done, like later on, like after I've added my eggs, I also add a tiny bit of pesto. But yeah, so I'll show you the step by step. My veg and the bacon is chopped. I've drained my beans. So now I'm just going to heat this frying pan up, and I'm going to start off by cooking the veg and bacon. And then once it's soft and almost cooked, I will add the tinned tomatoes and the beans. And I'll just leave it covered for like 10 minutes until the sauce is sort of thickened, and then I'll stir in the pesto. So I've added the tinned tomatoes and all the different herbs now, and I'm literally just going to leave it uncovered and to cook for 10 minutes to let the tomatoes and the sauce reduce down. And then I'm going to add in the beans and the pesto, cook for another couple of minutes, and then I will crack the eggs into the mix. So when you're ready to add your egg, you literally just want to create a little well like that in the sauce, and then just pour in your egg. It's easier if you pour it into a mug first and then add it into the sauce, so that you don't have to worry about trying to crack it. But yeah, so now what I'm going to do is add a little bit of salt to my whites, because it helps cook them a bit quicker. And then I'll leave it for about 6 minutes until. So yeah, I've just covered my eggs to help them cook. If you're like me and you don't actually have a pan with a lid, I'm just using my slow cooker lid. Does the job. But yeah, so I'm going to cook them for 5 minutes and then add in my pesto, and then it'll be ready to serve. And it's now done, and I'm just having mine with half of a Promise gluten-free roll as half of my healthy extra B, and I'll save the other half for later. But yeah, this is quite a big portion. I probably won't finish it all, but you can also like pop it in a Tupperware tub and heat it up and eat the rest the next day. But yeah, this will keep me going until dinner. Like, I won't eat anything else for the rest of the day now because it's so nice and filling. But yeah, it's really one of my favourite breakfasts, and it's really, really yummy. But yes, I'm just going to make my breakfast. I'm having poached eggs on toast with some mushrooms and spinach on the side. So the mushrooms are cooking in the pan. I've literally just popped them in the pan with a few squirts of this spray and some chili flakes and salt, and I've got the water boiling for my eggs. Right, to do my poached eggs, how I do it is I've got a small mug here, and I've got my some cling film. So I'm just going to tear off a bit of cling film. So I've got my cling film like this. Just going to pop it over the mug and then push down a little bit to create sort of like a hole, but keep the cling film in one piece. So like this, you see it's in there, but it's been like pushed in. I'm going to squirt a little bit of this spray oil in there, and then crack an egg in there. And then I will sprinkle some salt. And just so you can see, so the egg is in the cling film inside the cup like that. And then I just grab the sides of the cling film like this, and then twist it like so, and then repeat with however many eggs you want. So I've got the water boiling here, and I'm literally just gonna pop each egg inside the water. And then what I do is I like to put my toast down at the same time. So I've got the toast on there for 3 minutes, and then that should be perfect as to how I like my eggs to be cooked. So I literally just leave it like that whilst the toast is cooking. Once the toast has popped up, I know that my eggs should be ready. So the eggs are out of the pan. I've just used a pair of scissors to cut them out of the cling film, and then I will pop it on my toast. This is the Neville's wholemeal bread from Tesco's, and you can have 2 for your healthy B, but I'm only having 1 so I can have a hi-fi bar or something later. And breakfast is done. So I've got my mushrooms and some spinach and my eggs. So let's see how these turned out. Perfect. Literally yum. There you go. That is literally the easiest and the quickest way for me to cook poached eggs. I literally can't do it any other way. They always fail. Morning guys, I hope you're all well and getting through this lockdown okay. Well, for those of you that are living in England and you're in lockdown. I'm just going to make my breakfast. So it's a Sunday today, and quite recently I've seen a lot of questions asking whether I eat differently the day before weigh day, because I weigh myself on a Monday, and when I go to Slimming World group, so that's also on a Monday. And yeah, people say, oh, do you restrict what you eat? Do you like reduce carbs? Do you do this? Do you do that? So I just thought it'd be a good idea just to like film what I get up to the day before weigh day and what I eat. I don't actually eat any differently. I still have like my normal dinner, my normal breakfast. I don't tend to eat lunch purely because it's a Sunday. So I wake up a bit later, I eat my breakfast a bit later, so by the time that I do get hungry in the afternoon, it's so close to dinner, so I'll just have like a snack, or I'll get like a piece of fruit or something. But yeah, so today I'm having pancakes, so I'll just show you the ingredients that I use. So I've got the ingredients for the pancakes here. I've got 40 grams of oats, which I've literally just whisked together in my NutriBullet. I'm going to use a tablespoon of sweetener, I've got 2 eggs, and I whisk the whites separately, so I've just got those in here for now. You'll need about 3 to 4 tablespoons of fat-free yoghurt, and I'm also I'm having chocolate orange pancakes today, so I've got I'm going to add a teaspoon of the Choc Shot to the pancake mix. So I've got my whites here, they've been whisked now. I always whisk my whites separately to the yolks, just because it makes the pancakes a bit fluffier. So now I'm literally just gonna add all of the other ingredients in, give them a good stir, and then I'll cook them on the hob. I'm gonna start off by just adding the yolks, and then I'll add the oats, make it a bit like flour, and then I'll add all the other ingredients in last. So all the ingredients for the pancakes are mixed together now. I've got the Choc Shot orange in there, which is half a SYN for a teaspoon. And the rest of it is SYN free, obviously except for the oats, which are your healthy extra B. So now I'm just going to cook them on the hob. I cook them on a really low heat, and then once they start bubbling on top, I just pop them into a separate pan just to keep them warm. So I've got the first pancake in there cooking on a really low heat. I like to use a small individual frying pan for my pancakes, just so then they're a bit more even in size, but you can literally use whatever. I have previously used them in a normal sized frying pan and just poured the mixture in there. But yeah, so as soon as it starts bubbling on this side, I just pop it over onto that pan so that it cooks the other side and just keeps them warm whilst I do the other pancakes. So the pancakes are almost done. You should get around 5 pancakes for the mix, maybe 6, depending how big you make them. So yeah, so what I'm going to do is just, once they're done, put them all on a plate and add my toppings, and yeah, and then they'll be ready. So my pancakes are done. I've actually topped mine with some satsuma segments, 2 teaspoons of this Jim Jam spread, which is 2 SYNs, and then I've used a square of the Lindt orange chocolate, which I'm SYNing at around 2 SYNs again. So in total this whole mix is 4.5 SYNs plus my healthy extra B. And it's so worth it. Like, I love having a breakfast like this. It keeps me really full, and it gets rid of my sweet cravings for the day. Like, I won't snack on any other sweet stuff now that I've had something this chocolatey in the morning. So today's breakfast is just a quick sort of breakfast hash. So I've got some chopped pepper, some onion, mushrooms, one of the Sainsbury's Be Good to Yourself sausages, so they're 1 SYN each, and then a bacon medallion. I'm literally just going to chuck all this in my Actifry. I'll cook it for about 10-15 minutes, and then for like the last 5 minutes I'm going to add some chopped tomatoes, because I'm doing an SP day. So normally I would add potato to a breakfast hash, but I'm just trying to include as much speed as possible. Then I will serve it with some spinach, and I'm also doing another one of my poached eggs. So yeah, I will show you when it's done. So it's probably a bit loud and you can't really hear me, but as you can see I've added the tomatoes in there now, and it's all cooking. My water is boiling, so I'm just gonna pop my egg in there, and I'm gonna leave it in there for like 4 or 5 minutes. So breakfast is done, the hash is all done, and my egg. I've just popped the egg on top of half of one of the Promise gluten-free subs. That's half of my healthy extra B, and I'm going to have the other half later, either with dinner or a hi-fi bar. But yes, this is literally 1 SYN plus half your healthy B.